Okay, Mikowanin everyone, and welcome to my Sword and Sorcery, Sword and Sandals, like fantasy, medieval, fantasy movie collection. Before I get started, I want to give a very huge shout out to my brother in arms and the one who requested that I do this. Todd Walnuts. His channel name is Todd Walnuts, and his gaming channel name is Surviving the Horror. I'm gonna leave, the tags or whatever you call them. Not really links, but whatever you would call them now. Those clickable tag things down below. I guess I'll still call them links, but it's linked and it would take you to his channels. Forgive me too. I have like slightly backache, so forgive me. Maybe sometimes I'm a little hunched over too. It's like an on and off thing, but I want to give a huge shout out to Todd. If you don't know, he has two channels. His movie channel, which is like some of the stuff that I do here, where he showcases. He does a lot of showcases of his collection, update videos. He has two dogs, Heidi and Hannah, and I've known him for over a decade now. I started doing this like in 2012, like near the end of 2012, and I guess he, not too long after, around somewhere in like early 2013 or somewhere in 2013, he discovered my channel, and then we became friends since then. So, and that's on my old channel, which I've deleted, so you can't really find anything there, any of my older works. But anyways, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Todd. His gaming channel, which is Surviving the Horror, he does pretty much anything Let's Play. He doesn't do anything pre-recorded. He can't do that. I think he has PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. They don't allow for that, so I think the most he can do is record maybe 5-minute clips or something, but not like a full Let's Play. He's sort of taken an extensive break from that right now, but hopefully he will get back to that. So if you do want to check him out, there are plenty of gaming content as well that he does, and I mean they can last, like, they're long sessions anywhere from like an hour to, I want to say, when he has like a day off or something, he will game for a long period of time, like maybe, let's say, 4 hours or 5 hours, something like that. So please do check him out, subscribe to him, tell him Falagar sent you from Let Us Play. He's a great friend, great friend to me. He's always been so kind, and we always have each other's back. So please, I would like you guys to check him out, and please subscribe to him and support both of his channels. He deserves all the subs. And I just want to say too, if not for him, my channel would not be where it is for now. There was a small handful of people that have shouted my channel out, and he is one of them, and I feel as if he's one of the people that had a huge impact on my channel. So thank you for that, Todd. Okay, now there's not going to be any particular order to these. I just I have a section, where right here, so you can't see. It's back there under that curtain, but underneath that stuff in front, and I think I have stuff on the bottom shelf, are my Sword and Sorcery stuff. I thought I had them in the front, but I do not. And just to keep things interesting for me, I'm gonna drink this chelada. Okay. I'm sorry, Todd, that this took, quite a while for me to do this. I think you requested this like sometime last week, but it's my OCD. Also, my hands have to be extremely clean, so I made sure that that was the case, and I handle my stuff very carefully. It's really strange, my OCD. So yeah, okay. It is March 1st, 2024. So okay, let's get started. And there's going to be a lot of pausing because I don't want to take the time, because I have to move everything very carefully and then pull them out. I'm just going to pause it so it won't take so long. We have the Brothers Grimm. I've seen this one time. These two are the Brothers Grimm, and it basically kind of, you know, from what I remember, it's about their adventures together, coming across these fairy tale creatures, which is what inspired them to, you know, make the kind of books that they did, you know, like Hansel and Gretel and all of that. Okay, the next one is Just Visiting. Okay, this one has the very gorgeous Christina Applegate. We have the professional Gene Reno, I think is his name. Gene Reno, you know, from The Professional, right there. And this is a really cool movie, very cool sword and sorcery flick, I consider it. These two, you have this knight, I forgot his name. Tell me, Malfet, Thibaut Malfet. That's right, Thibaut Malfet, and Andre, his servant. They get whirled into forward in time from the wizard played by Malcolm McDowell. He had to reverse like a little mistake that happened. I won't get into it. And in there he met her. This is his like descendant. And then at first, you know, he doesn't understand, you know, what's going on. You know, it's the future, like 2001, I think, at the time. Holy crap! This was put out by Mill Creek. That's amazing. You know, sometimes their stuff can be hit or miss, but this turned out to be pretty good, I think. Like, yeah, you know, quite good. But this is a great sword and sorcery flick. You know, the things that they encounter. The villain is, well, really the villain is back in time. You don't really see him until, like, you see him at the beginning and then again at the end. But the fiance of her is the villain in there, and he's quite the prick. So do check out Just Visiting. It is one of, you know, like a guilty pleasure of mine. Here we have Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal. I know that there's, I think it's called The Great Resistance or something. It's a Netflix series, which is a prequel to this film. This is a great one here. This is where everything is all like puppetry, and some of it is like filmed, I think, in like real life background, or really meticulously put on stages and stuff like that. Such a good one. And I've seen this like a few times, and I think they're called the Skeksis, and you know, they like to steal the essence or the soul of these Gelfites or whatever. They're called like Gelfites or something, and then the Skeksis are the bad ones. And there's a lone Delphite, or I forget what they're called. They're not really called Delphite. Skeksis, and I don't think it's going to tell me, but I can't remember what they're called. Okay, I guess his name is Jen. I think that's a chick's name, but I guess his name is Jen. You know, he's you know, trying to put a stop to that, and I like one particular scene. It's hard. It's been a while since I've seen this one, but one particular scene was one of the Skeksis was, I think he was like kicked out from the group, you know. So all the other Skeksis, they're in like a circle. They surround him and they start ripping up all his garments and his you know, to show that he's kicked out of the clan. And that just cracked me up when I remember seeing that. This one here, she's like some sort of like a witch or something, and she has this in her headquarters. You know, this one here, she has this an orrery, like this orrery stuff, and she knows all about, you know, the prophecy and everything. But do check out Dark Crystals, you know, Jim Henson film. And there's another one that goes along with that one, and that is Labyrinth, but I'll show that later. I think I have it over there. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna pause it right now. Okay, I came across another one. For the most part, I have my sword and sorcery stuff, you know, and fantasy flicks, medieval flicks, in one section. But, you know, sometimes, you know, over time you come across other ones that you forgot that you had to put them there because you didn't have room at the time, and I still kind of don't have room to put them all in one place. So some of it might be kind of scattered about. So most of them are in one area, but as I said, there are a few here and there lingering about. And I came across Knights of Badassdom, another great one. You got you know, Peter Dinklage and Zane, or Steve Zane, Summer Glau, you know, in here, and you know, a bunch of other people. I know there's like a couple other ones I know, like this guy here, I forgot his name. But anyways, this is a story about LARPing, and a real succubi demon gets thrown into the mix of it all. I do recommend this one. You know, this dude here, he is feeling down because his girlfriend just broke up with him, and his buddies are heavy into LARPing, and he back in the day played a lot of D&D along with his buddies. But as they said, his buddies Peter Dinklage and Steve Zane, LARPing is the next evolution to Dungeons and Dragons, you know, the pen and paper, you know, game. So they take him along there, and there's a ritual that was performed, and it summoned this succubi, and they have to contend with that. So this is quite a good one. So do check out Knights of Badassdom. Okay. Okay, I may as well throw this one in. This is Troll 2. I have Troll 1 as well, but I'll show that later. That's in back there. But Troll 2, this is a very guilty pleasure, very fun but dumb, you know, B flick, directed by, and he's an Italian guy, and you know, he went under a different name here, Drago Floyd, but his name is something Fregasso or something like that, something Fregasso. I think his last name was like Fregasso, Claudio Fregasso or something is his real name. I don't know why he put it under that fake name, the Drago Floyd. And in here, you know, it has nothing to do with the first one. I'm not even gonna bother reciting the plot. It's so dumb, but just there's like a family swap thing, and the guy here, he in real life he's a dentist. Michael Stevenson, is it? Well, anyways, you go to this town called Nilbog, and it's filled with goblins, and they want to eat them. And I may as well show the documentary that goes along with Troll 2, Best Worst Movie. I have this twice now, but this was the you know, the solo standalone one before Shout Factory got their hands on it, and you know, put Troll 1 and 2 together, and actually it was on DVD too. So, you know, and Shout put it on, you know, on DVD, that same double feature. But it comes with Best Worst Movie, but I have it here, and I like how this is green. One of the absolute best documentaries out there, especially if you've seen Troll 2. Even if you haven't, it might entice you to check it out, but absolutely get this one. His name is say his name, George Hardy. Yeah, here, Claudio Fregasso. That was the director. George Hardy is this guy, the main man in here, the father. You know, you can't piss on hospitality. You know that, all that, right? Okay. An interesting take on how their lives unfolded. I think the one who played the wife became like very reclusive, almost like a hermit woman. And I think she was into all this like new age kind of crap, you know, so. Okay, again, I apologize. You can't really tell how long it takes. This is an exceedingly difficult process for me to do, to try to grab everything, so it's probably not as long as what you're thinking, but between transitions, it takes me quite some time. It's quite a task for me to try to do this, so that's why I don't do them very often anymore, especially when it's harder for me to get to. If they were like up front more, then I'd be able to get them easily, but well, anyways, here we are. We have Alpha. I consider this, you know, fantasy sword and sorcery as well, even though it's almost like a historical period piece. We have Asa Butterfield, is it or not? Or Cody Smith? I think it's not. I think his name is Cody Smith. Cody Smith McPhee from where he plays Nightcrawler in the McAvoy X-Men. But he was also in Let Me In, the remake for of Let the Right One In, starring Chloe Grace Moretz. And this is sort of like it's I consider again Sword and Sorcery period piece where it's in like 10,000 BC, Ice Age period, and he's left behind on a hunt, left for dead, because there was really no way to get to him, his dad and his people. He fell kind of like halfway down the side of a cliff, but I think some branches or whatever stopped his fall, and he landed on this ledge, so he didn't quite hit bottom, but there was no way to get to him, plus he was unconscious. So it's his whole quest of him getting back to his people, and along the way he meets this like wolf dog thing and becomes friends with it, and it's their perilous journey trying to get back. So, and they come across hardships and other creatures. The other one, this is by Hex Studios, and it is called Dragon Knight. It's one of those that it's very probably lesser known film, independent film. I thought this was very well done. I highly recommend all of you guys check this out. Support Hex Studios. There's this guy. These Dragon Knights are which is he right here. They're very they're obsolete, and they're like endangered species, you can say, and I believe he might only be the only one, and there aren't really any dragons left in the world, and then he comes along, and there's this tyrant that wants to take over, and it's up to him to stop that tyrant, and he teams up with this guy. He's like a bar servant, like a barkeep or like a waiter from this tavern that he walked in, and he befriends this female rogue character. So do check this out. The dragon effect in here is remarkable, especially for a flick such as this. So a B flick. So check out Dragon Knight. Okay, and I'm like not even drinking that thing, and okay. Next one. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Is that the order? Yeah, I guess it's okay. I guess. Yeah. Okay. Willow. We have Joanna Whaley, and at the time husband Val Kilmer, which is Sorsha. Matt Monaghan. We have Willow, played by Warwick Davis. Jean Marsh is Queen Bavmorda. So this is like an underdog story where Queen Bavmorda, here she is, she fears this child, Elara, or Eliandra, or Elara, something like that, because it is prophesied that it will be her doom. And the baby was taken away by one of the maids or housekeepers and put in a basket, and until it came across Willow, and particularly Willow's kids. They came across the baby, and it eventually leads to him meeting this fairy, where the fairy tasks him with delivering the baby to a daikini, which is human-sized person. So they come across him, and then eventually they form this ragtag team of heroes, to fight Queen Bavmorda. I don't want to take too much time explaining everything. I think for the most part I'll just try to reduce it to just showing it. We have Black Death, great, I'll say, fantasy film, but more like closer to like a real life thing, and telling the story of the Black Plague in you know, the Dark Ages, and there's a film, and I have it back there somewhere, called Season of the Witch, that goes very well along very well with that film. Oh, why is it in this order? Okay, we have Conan the Barbarian. I mean, the order I grabbed it in is the order that it was in. It's very weird, but okay, we have Conan the Barbarian with Schwarzenegger, James Earl Jones, Mako, Jerry Garcia, is it Sarah? It's not Sarah Douglas. Not Sarah Douglas. Sandel Bergman. How can I forget that name? Sandel Bergman. Here, very good film of Conan, who was once a slave and set free, and wants to avenge the death of his people, his parents and his people, against Dulcedum, and he teams up with Subutai and Valeria and Mako the Wizard. Very, very good film. Okay, and we have Ironclad. We have Paul Giamatti in here. James Purefoy. Is that Rooney Mara or Kate Mara? Kate Mara. Oh, Brian Cox is also in here. I've seen this one time. Now, of course, we have the Russell Crowe film Gladiator. Very, very good one. You know, Joaquin Phoenix is in here. Connie Nielsen. So do check that out. Of course, Mel Gibson in Braveheart. The only letdown for me, but I guess, well, because it's history and how it went down, when he was killed at the end, the execution, and I saw his two buddies were there in the hoods, I thought they were going to break him out, you know, and I was very disappointed when I saw that in the theaters. I was like, fuck, and he died quite horribly. I would have preferred, if I could just take a moment to give my take, and I know it might be historically inaccurate, but still, somehow ninjas got wind of it, of, you know, his plight, and they're on the way from Japan, okay? And this ninja, okay, the two friends end up, it's like the same up to that certain point, with the two buddies of William Wallace show up in their disguise and under hoods. All of a sudden, when they're about to stretch him, because I think that's very damaging, so he won't even get tortured one bit, because everything they do, I think it's going to leave something permanent, starting with that stretching. So they were going to stretch him, but all of a sudden, you know, the executioner gets hit with the arrow, you know, ninja arrow, and all of a sudden, when they're all like, kind of like wondering what's going on, you know, and some guards come, all of a sudden they get hit by arrows and shurikens, you know, because ninjas, they're magical beings in a way, right? They pull off some really incredible shit. So they kill off much of their soldiers, and they realize when more of those English soldiers are coming out, they're getting killed, so they kind of like stop, and that head ninja comes out and frees William Wallace, and all of a sudden ninjas come flipping out of the woodwork everywhere, along with some of William Wallace's men, because they took them. And that's when the two buddies that were there, I think Stephen and the other Hamish, Stephen and Hamish, they take off their robes, and like, oh, all of a sudden this ninja comes up to them and hands them their weapons. That head ninja has his claymore, William Wallace's claymore, but probably actually not the same one, another one that they tempered with their own special steel that they used to make their katanas and daikatanas and shit. And they show it to him and present it with him, and he whispers something to William Wallace, and then he's telling him that French woman, that French princess, that, you know, the gay son that married, that the gay son married, not, why am I pointing at him again, you know, but the gay son married the French princess, but he really likes that other dude, right? Whispers that she's pregnant with your child. So that's what caused William Wallace to be like, oh. So they march in there, and history takes a totally different turn. Okay, sorry for that little fantasy of mine, but it didn't quite play out like that. We have Conan the Destroyer, the sequel to the first one, a far cry from the first Conan the Barbarian, but still quite good. A little bit more cheaper on the effects, like that gorilla kind of creature that the wizard turned into. We have Grace Jones in this one as Zula, I think her name was. We have Olivia Diabo in here as a virgin princess. Wilt Chamberlain is in here. Mako makes a return. No more Jerry Garcia. not Jerry Garcia, Jerry Lopez. Sorry, no more Jerry Lopez for some reason. And we all know what happened to Valeria. Okay, next one we have Centurion. Okay, we have Olga Kirilenko in here. We have Michael Fassbender, and if I got this, Dominic something. Here it is, Dominic West. He played Jigsaw in Punisher Warzone. Well, anyways, yeah, this is a great one. There's another one called The Eagle, and I think I have that one too, which stars Channing Tatum, but I think this is a better one. Okay, so, okay, let me pause it. Okay. The Green Knight with Dev Patel. And who's that? Oh, real? Oh, yeah, Alicia Vikander. Okay, I remember her being in there. Alicia Vikander. She was Lara Croft in that Tomb Raider remake. Underrated, by the way. And I think Ex Machina. Yeah, Ex Machina. But this is like a kind of like a different, almost dreamy, fantastical retelling of the story of Gawain. Was it when he was going after the Holy Grail? I've seen this one time, and there's like tree people. Very trippy film, but do check it out, The Green Knight. I've seen it one time, and it's quite good. Okay. King Arthur Director's Cut. This is the one to see, not the PG-13 version. When I seen that, I thought the film was okay, but I was wondering why there were some weird cutaways and there really wasn't showing blood. Well, this is why. You gotta watch the director's cut. How did he say it? I think it was Ian Grufford. I think his name right. Ian Grufford. There's a 1,000 men just waiting to rape me or something, or waiting for us or something like that. And then she says, "Don't worry, I won't let them rape you." Okay, and then you have Clive Owen as King Arthur, and of course Keira Knightley as Guinevere. I think maybe there might be some folks out there that didn't like the take on her. They made her quite tribal and made her a fighter. I loved it. So do check out King Arthur. Okay. Speaking of King Arthur, the John Boorman film, Excalibur, very, very good one. Helen Mirren as Morgana. Come on now. You know, who doesn't know the story of Excalibur? I won't, waste time with that. We have The Messenger with, this is a Luc Besson film, and this stars Mila Jovovich as Joan of Arc. I always loved the story of Joan of Arc. The only thing I didn't quite like was I wish they made her a bit more I want to say not mad, not as mad. It made her a bit more pious and more holy, especially with the delivery of her messages, and she didn't come off quite as insane. But that was really my only gripe about that, and the fact that she died. Again, my retelling of the story involves ninjas at the end saving her right before the flames touch her. I won't go into it anymore, but that's a fact, the way I wish it would have gone down. We have Warcraft, based off of the game Warcraft. I started off with, I think, Warcraft 2, Ready to Serve, with those peasants chopping trees. I never played WoW. Maybe I should. But this is a story of how orcs came into the realm of man, and there were different races. I think there were already dwarves and elves in here, but there were no orcs. Well, now there are. Just like I like, underrated, I forgot the name of it, but it is the Witcher prequel. I think it's called like Blood something, Witcher, a Witcher spin-off series. It has Michelle Yeoh in it, and it shows how all these different races, aside from, I think, dwarves may have already existed with man, but there were no elves and other races. They all they all came together because their worlds kind of opened up different dimensions, and they all came together. So I really like to go check out that one again, that Michelle Yeoh Witcher series. Okay. This next one, I have to be quick, otherwise some things might topple over. but we have the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the extended versions right here. This is the one where it opens up like a book, you know, and it's magnetic. I wish I had gotten the Hobbit one to go along with that, but oh, here, I'll show the spine. It's very rare for me to take this out because I'm very careful with it, but it's nice and shiny and beautiful. You know, who doesn't love, you know, if you're a Sword and Sorcery fan and you love RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons, who doesn't love that? You know, gave all great performances, you know. Ian McKellen as Gandalf, of course, you know, and Sean Astin as Samwise, you know, and you know, Frodo, all of that. Okay, so I have a big stack over here. Okay, Kevin Costner and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, you know, Scarface's sister, what is her name? Oh yeah, Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham. This is so great. Scarface, yeah, Mary Elizabeth Mastrotonio. She was also in The Abyss. Scarface's sister. Fuck me, Tony. Fuck me. You don't want any other man to tell you, right? Remember that from Scarface? It's before the scene of say hello to my little friend. That scene. She married Manny, Scarface's best friend. Now we have Legend, and this one stars Tom Cruise, Tim Curry, and she played, you know, I'm gonna marry that boy. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Hold on here. Come on. Oh, I don't believe it. Mia Sara. How can I forget? I'm forgetting. Right? Mia Sara. This is a film that is, okay, some will, probably most folks would disagree, but if you just really think about it, I'm really not that wrong because, and again, it's all opinions, but I really like this film. The score was great. The acting was, for the most part, great. You know, sometimes Tom Cruise can be a little odd. Very good to great, let's say. The soundtrack was great. Cinematography, all good stuff. Makeup, you know, him as Darkness, you know, Tim Curry, you know, fantastic job with the makeup. The film itself, I thought, was really not that good. You know, some of the dialogue, I didn't like, you know, how some of those goblins were speaking. To me, goblins should sound a bit more bestial, not making cracks like, there's a part where because he wants to get a unicorn horn, and the goblin, like, he messed up, you know, and Tim Curry, you know, Darkness says, you got to look for the horse that has a single horn in the middle of his forehead, like this, and he took like a, I don't know what it was, like a cone-shaped thing. It might have been maybe like a cup or something, but in like a horn, and he put it between the goblin's eyes, and then the goblin says, I get the point, my lord. He shouldn't have said, he shouldn't sound like that, and he sounds like, you know, it's like too cartoony and goofy. I understand it's probably catering more towards kids, but still, this is a Ridley Scott film, by the way. Comes with the director's cut and the theatrical cut. Stick with the theatrical cut with the soundtrack by Tangerine Dream. That's the way to go. When they tried to change the soundtrack with the director's cut, it just started to kind of sound like a Lord of the Rings ripoff, you know. But I wish when he did that, maybe the goblin would have been, forgive me, I shall not fail you again. You know, something a bit more serious, not, you know, goofy like that. Anyways, that's my gripe. The other gripe is Tom Cruise. When he came across that chainmail armor, he should have looked a little bit more harder to try to find the matching greaves, because he was going around pantless, basically, just his loincloth and the top, the chainmail. What are the chainmails without the greaves? Freaking moron. But anyways, that was my gripe. Legend. Come on. Highlander, Christopher Lambert, and Sean Connery as Ramirez. You also have Clancy Brown as Kurgan, right? Kerrigan, who cuts your hair. I am in disguise. That way, no one will recognize me. I recognize you. What do you want? Your head. And the prize. Right? Ramirez says, oh, happy Halloween, ladies. Right? And sticking his tongue out those nuns. Nuns. No sense of humor. Ramirez's blade did not cut deeply enough. Ramirez was an effort snob. I took his head and raped his woman before his blood turned cold. Oh, I see. Ramirez lied. She was not his woman, but yours. Right? You talk funny, Nash. Where you from? Lots of different places. Are you a faggot, Nash? Why? Are you cruising for a piece of ass? Want to know what I think? I think this is a guy who did it. I think you went down there to that garage for a blowjob and you didn't like the price, so you took off his head. You're sick. Right. Highlander. Come on. Come on. Now we have the triple pack of 300 Troy Alexander. Okay. These are great films. This one is okay. You know, Jared Leto is in this one. But, you know, I didn't think it was all that great. It's still good. Troy, come on. Great one. I was having a great dream. Oh, I was having a dream. A great dream, or something, a really good dream. Because he woke up and he saw that he's sleeping with two women. He had slept with two hot chicks, right? What else? 300, you know, with the Spartans. The 300 up against Xerxes. Okay, now we have James Purefoy and Solomon Kane. Very good one if you like Diablo or Grim Dawn especially. I would just say there's a correlation in a way if you really watch it, not in story, but if you look at the sights, the sounds, the costume design, think Grim Dawn, think Diablo. One that's completely unnoticed, you know, Curse of the Dragonslayer. It's you know, an indie film, you know, Danielle Chucharan, and that she's the only one I know in here. They formed this triple ragtag team of unlikely heroes and unlikely friends. So do check this one out. This one was gifted to me by Todd himself. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. If you're a D&D fan, you absolutely have to check this one out. You know, you got it all. You have mimics, you have displacer beasts, everything. Owlbear, or really she's a tiefling and she can a druid, and she shapeshifts into an owl bear. You have him, you know, Chris Pine as Edgin, as Edgin, Edgin or Egdin or something. He's a bard, although, you know, you don't really see him perform his magics, but I guess they showcase it in like a very subtle way. Michelle Rodriguez as the barbarian. I forgot her name now. But I can't remember her name, but she was badass as a barbarian. This film is a must-see if you're into D&D especially, but if you're into sword and sorcery stuff, fantasy flicks, do check it out. Now, Dungeons and Dragons double feature with the original one. You have Jeremy Irons and Bruce Payne in here. You have this guy here from Superman and Lois, and you have one of those Wayne brothers. This is not a good film, really. The second one, Wrath of the Dragon God, which is filmed in Lithuania, by the way. So all the sites that you see there, the buildings, it's all there, you know. They didn't have to build any of those sets. Those things were there. There was very little building of the sets, but the beauty and stuff that was already native to that location. Very, very good one. So you have to check it out. It's skimpy on the special effects, you know, even for its time. Probably looks even more cheesier now, but do check it out. You know, Nim the rogue, come on, Ormeline the sorceress, Barrett as the fighter. You have to check it out. They're going up against Jubilex, right? Okay, the Lord of the Rings theatrical 3-pack collection. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it again. Okay, I think we're starting to get down to it. How to Train Your Dragon 2, the sequel. I thought I had all three of them. Maybe I do, but then the first one, How to Train Your Dragon. But the third one, all three How to Train Your Dragons are great. Sorceress with the Playboy Playboy twins, Playmate twins, Lee Harris and Lynette Harris. Films like this and Barbarian Queen, and you know, they reuse a lot of scenes from this. Oh, excuse me. Guess this is not a Shout Factory thing. What is this? Oh, it's a Scorpion releasing. Okay. But yeah, this was gifted to me again by the great Todd Walnuts. So thank you for that. If I remember, I'm going to try to point out who gave me what, right? The Golden Compass. Very sad that this didn't get like the full trilogy, but we did have his Dark Materials, and that is just as great. But I thought this film was underrated and very good. This one has Daniel Craig in this one. It also has the redhead. Eva Green is in here. Nicole Kidman. Sam Elliott is in here. So Jörg Bernstein, or as the bear, voiced by Ian McKellen. You remind me of the babe with the power of hoodoo. Remind me of the babe, right? What kind of magic spell to use? Something snails, puppy dog tails. Jump, magic jump, right? Boom, 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 boom. You come so home, you come so far. Boom, 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 boom. Your eyes can be so cruel, just like I can be so cruel, right? David Bowie, come on now, okay? As Jared or some Jared or something like that. Jennifer Connelly, you know, as the one who has to rescue her brother, her little baby brother, from the Goblin King. I think his name is like Jaren or something like that, or Jarek or Jaren or something like that. Played by David Bowie. Great songs, great sights and sounds, makeup effects, puppetry work. Goes very well. Companion film to Dark Crystal. Okay. Oh boy, we're getting down to it. Okay, wow. All right. I don't think I have all of. I'm missing some, but it's okay. Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows, Part 1. I know I have 2 as well, but it might be a little out of order. Harry Potter, The Sorcerer's Stone, which is my personal favorite one. The whole Harry Potter films are pretty good, but I still prefer Lord of the Rings to it. The Never-Ending Story. This is like another one that just goes along with that trifecta of childhood memories with Dark Crystal and Labyrinth, and you also have now, you know, The Never-Ending Story. I've seen the second one, and that was good too. The third one, I started to watch it. I have to finish it, but this is by far the best of them. Okay, that Never-Ending Story song. I don't really know the words, but I know how it goes. There's other than the Never-Ending Story by Lamel. I think that's how you pronounce it. Wolfgang Peterson film, the same director of Troy with Brad Pitt. There's a boy, Bastian. He kind of takes this book from this bookstore, The Never-Ending Story, and as he's reading the book, the story is kind of changing along the way, and he's really feeling it and seeing it, and he's like able to communicate with these people, you know, as this like voice in the air kind of thing. Very sad what this girl who was like the princess who was imprisoned had to go through. I think the whole thing was they had to give her a name. Only Bastian could name him, but Atreyu, played by Noah Hathaway. He's great. Noah Hathaway, also from the first Troll. I think I might have that at different spots. So that's what I'm talking about. There's some things still scattered about. Like I have, I know I have Conquest, which was, or is it called, not Conquest? I think it is called Conquest, and that was gifted to me by Todd, and that was a Lucio Fulci Sword and Sorcery film. I have that. I think it's somewhere on that shelf, but so they're not all in one place, but most of them are. The Page Master, Macaulay Culkin and Christopher Lloyd. Patrick Stewart is a voice. I think Fairy Tale is the voice is voiced by Whoopi Goldberg. You know, so you have Frank Welker. You know, some great voice actors in here. You know, combination of live action and cartoon. Macaulay Culkin, I think he's like, was he running away from bullies, or was it just like the rain? I can't remember. For some reason that, and then the never-ending story, you know, the beginning part mixed up. But he goes into this library, and he gets sucked into the story. You know, we have Snow White and the Huntsman, and the sequel was also good. I don't know if I have that one though. But you have, you know, Charlize Theron as the evil queen, and you have Kristen Stewart as Snow White herself, and of course Chris Hemsworth as the Huntsman. And the second one is also very good. I haven't seen this one yet, but Mirror Mirror. Isn't this Collins? Phil Collins' daughter, right? Lily Collins, yeah, Lily Collins in here. Julia Roberts. So come on, I should see that. Alice in Wonderland, and even Through the Looking Glass, the sequel to this, both fantastical films. Do check this out. And I love the end fight with Alice versus a Jabberwocky, right? That was great. And then of course him versus you know, the Mad Hatter, you know, Johnny Depp versus Willard, which was Marty McFly's father, whatever his name was, I forgot it now. It might tell me here. Yeah, Helen Bonham Carter, Crispin Glover. How can I forget that name? Okay, the Spiderwick Chronicles. You have Freddie Highmore in here. This is a good one, you know, and I think Mary Louise something, Mary Louise Parker. She's in here as a mother. He has a dual role, Freddie Highmore, playing twins, right? You know, and that's the sister, and it's like, oh, you took it. Why did you take it? It was like her bracelet or something, or her medal, I think it was. She's like a fencing student or something, and she got like a medal, and then they found it in the drywall. He goes, yeah, you caught me, sis. I stole your medallion, punched a hole through this wall, and hid it in here and drywalled it back up again, you know. But it was really, there was a brownie living in there. But there are fantastical creatures all around us, is what this is about. And there's a book, like a bestiary, with all the creatures and stuff in there. And the evil goblin, which you only see him one time, but he's played by Nick Nolte. He wants to get a hold of that because there's secrets in there. I Kill Giants, very good one, and it has much in common with this next movie I'm going to show, where it is a fantastical world and fantastical creatures of the mind. So good. Zoe Saldana's in here, Medicine Wolf. But there's a meaning, and there's the giants serve as this analogy for like the problems of life and trauma that she's going through. I'll say that. Do check it out. And yes, I do consider it a sword and sorcery fantasy flick just as much as a Braveheart and a Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Same thing with this, Bridge to Terabithia. I've seen the original one with Annette O'Toole in my childhood, in my youth, back in the day. And this remake is super fantastic, and do check it out. We have Anna Sophia Robb, and we have Josh, is that his name? Zoe Deschanel's in here. Yeah, Josh Hutcherson is in here, and Robert Patrick is also in here. And, Zoe Deschanel's a music teacher, and it's about this boy, Jess Aaron, who gets bullied a lot, and he escapes with his drawings. This new kid comes around, which is Anna Sophia Robb, Leslie Burke, and she teaches him to open up his imagination. So they create this fantasy world, Terabithia, and it's full of these fantastical creatures, and it's all in their mind. None of that shit's real, but to me, it's real. Just like when I play my games, this is what I go through, you know. This is the only real way to enjoy RPGs, is to keep your imagination and your mind, as to quote Leslie Burke, you know, keep your mind wide open kind of thing. So you have to do that when you're playing Daggerfall, all that, Morrowind, Skyrim, Oblivion, all of it, Baldur's Gate. Really see these things and it will transport you into that world. And this is a great film. Sad ending, that's all I'm going to say. You know, it does get dark, and they have to, the boy, you know, has to put up with this trauma, let's just say. But fantastical film. This pretty much concludes my Sword and Sorcery collection. It's just a little under an hour. I apologize for that. I hope you enjoyed this, Todd, and I hope all of you enjoyed it. But yes, I hope you enjoyed it the most, Howdy Walnuts, my very dear friend and brother in arms. So everyone, please head on over to Todd's channel, Todd E. Walnuts and Surviving the Horror. Links are down below. Please check him out. Tell him I sent you. Subscribe to him. Show him your support. I hope you do come back to us by making more live streams. I do hope you end up getting Starfield. It's getting better and better each time. I know it had a rough start, but with that Shattered, I think it's called like Shattered Space or something, DLC coming out, hopefully that expands certain things and they change the format of these shortcomings that some of the folks didn't like. You can go ahead and look up, you know, look that stuff up, you know, all about it. But even before that, the way it was when it first came out, I still thought it was a very good game, and it's just getting better and better, and I think now it's like a great game. Also, you might want to look into Baldur's Gate 3, great game as well, and I'm looking forward to Reign of Guilds. That's supposed to be a free one. And Last Epoch, a very good game. And I think that's it. So, hope you all enjoyed. And that's it. See you.